Join two sisters who explore the couples that fandoms adore. We write their stories in the night, in the glow of computer light. Eyes connect, clothing flies, in our head canon love never dies. Tense looks that leave us pining, in deep forums we are mining. For this journey, better strap in, because we all know that shit happens.
Welcome to the podcast that explores the couples fans can't stop dreaming about from the pop culture you love. Because when it comes to role-playing your favorite tadpole adventurers, you know we're in Deep Ship.
We're your host. I'm Emily.
I'm Rachel. She likes nerd culture.
And she likes making podcasts, so we thought we'd join forces to make a podcast that gives a glimpse into fandoms and their favorite ships.
And the best ships are the ships that come from our listeners. So send us who you want to hear about or a rare pair that you want to learn more about to shiphappenssisters@gmail.com. And shout out at the top of the episode to our new friend Max. We've been exchanging emails, and thank you so much for listening and reaching out. You want to hear your name here? Send us an email. We'll shout you out right at the top.
Okay.
We'll start with our ship of the week. And this one is Rachel has a ship of the week, and it's timely from this decade. And it's relevant because the latest book just dropped. And I would not have thought of this like specific ship if we had not just done Bilford last episode. But if you've listened to our backlogs, you know that I have been trying to shoehorn Dungeon Crawler Carl into this podcast for so long. And I finally found the right way to do it is if you're looking at a ship like Bilford, where, you know, one's the triangle that's just like disembodied and like inhabits your brain. I think you could have something similar with Carl and the Dungeon AI. So if you aren't familiar, Dungeon Crawler Carl is like an alien apocalyptic event where humans are then put into dungeons under the Earth's surface where they do different levels to try to survive and make it in this big grand universe that they now are realizing they're a part of. And the dungeon is run by a Bill Cipher-esque, like they have the same personality, artificial intelligence that was raised or learned from internet culture. So basically Tumblr, right? At that point. And so it is Bill Cipher making those horrible jokes and whatever, like irreverent, but and snarky. And who's also in love with Carl's feet.
Okay.
And the latest book, book 8, just came out like a couple days ago. And I haven't started reading it yet because I'm trying to reread the old books so I know what's happening. But I would never have really thought about it. I just thought that they were kind of like, it's a kind of a joke that the AI is into Carl's feet. But then I was like, you know what? It has this like unhealthy or like this intense obsession with him. And I'm like, this is giving Bilford. And I wouldn't have pieced that together if it wasn't for having just done the research. So thank you to this podcast for opening my eyes to the world of messed up, what is it? Toxic sway? The toxic man love? What?
Yowie.
Yowie. Thank you. I would have known about that if it weren't for doing this.
But can AI be a man?
It can inhabit the character bodies. So there's NPCs. Because, relevant. It is a lit RPG. So a literary role-playing game. So there's NPCs and the AI inhabits their bodies and can interact with people. Like there's mouth on foot action at one point. Anyway, so that was my ship of the week. I just thought it was funny and it fit, and it was not something I would have seen together if it weren't for the fact that we do this podcast, opening our eyes to love all around.
Or something.
Or something, a little, yeah.
Something.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of something, now it's time for our ship news.
Ship news.
We have some exciting ship news. Is that I made good on the promise that I've been talking about for such a long time, is that I actually wrote a fan fiction. My first to be published. I did write one as a teenager, as we talked about. And it's for the same fandom, because I just can't leave Twilight behind. So if you listen to our Twilight crack ship episode, we talk about several crack ships. And there's one particular that Emily and I just got really excited about. And I was like, you know what? If somebody's going to take this idea to the bank It's going to be me. And so I started writing it, and it's published out there. Should I say what couple? I don't know. I'm squeamish. Sometimes if I look at this too closely, I ick myself out. And I wouldn't finish it or work on it anymore. But let's just say I'll put the link. We'll put the link in the show notes, and it will be out there by then.
It's out there. I mean, if you listen to the episode, you know.
Yeah, so go listen to the episode. It's all the way at the end. Don't skip to the end. Listen to the whole thing. And then go read it on AO3 and give me a kudos or something. I don't know.
Yes. So very exciting. Our first foray.
I know, because I've been saying that for such a long time. Anyways, now I'm just yammering, and we should need to get to the topic at hand. But there you go. Check it out. It doesn't have a name yet. That was the hang up, Emily. I haven't thought of a better name. Shucks. Okay.
You gotta get some song lyrics.
Yeah,
like that's a good fanfic title.
Or I was thinking, because it's a Twilight fanfic, that I was trying to think of like different celestial happenings. Call it like the Harvest Moon or something. I don't know. Blood Moon.
Blood Moon.
Maybe one of them's a werewolf now. That would actually work a lot better.
Could be.
Well, let's get to the topic at hand today. Emily, what are we talking about?
So today, we already talked a little about role playing. We're going to talk about more.
Heck yeah, it's the theme.
Yes, video games and role playing. But actually, before we get to that, because this is a book podcast, even though we're not talking about books today, this topic was kind of inspired, or I wanted to talk about it now because of a book, although we had talked about doing this before.
Wait, there's a book? Oh, tell me more.
So I was on Instagram and I saw an announcement for like a new fantasy book, which I just happens. So this is like, as I read down, I start at the top of the post and I like go down the picture, and these are the things I see. Top of the book, it says Baldur's Gate 3. I'm like, cool, I like that game. It's one of my top favorite games. Next line down, it says Asterion. And I'm like, nice. I love that guy. He's a character from the game. I really like him. Bottom of the post, it says by T. Kingfisher. And I'm like, oh my God. She's one of my favorite author, like the favorite author maybe, publishing now. Yeah, I'm like, how'd they get her? And then at the bottom in the caption, it says audiobook performed by Neil Newbon, who is Asterion himself. He's voice acts him. So it's like, you're going to like listen to Asterion tell you the story of what happened before the events of the game, which honestly is going to be really bleak.
Oh yeah.
Because we know what happened before the game, and it's not good. So to be honest, I don't know if I'm going to read this one because I feel like it might be too sad. We'll see. But I was just like, damn, they really know how to like do it.
They know what the people want.
Right. I saw that post, and then that kind of inspired me to want to revisit, talk about Baldur's Gate 3. So Baldur's Gate 3 is a video game. It was released by Larian Studios in 2023, initially on PC, then later on console. And it won like a lot of awards. I think it was like Game of the Year that year. It won lots of like writing and like voice acting awards. It was like very well received, very popular. And the game itself is an expansive turn-based RPG, so role-playing game, set in the world of Dungeons and Dragons, specifically the Forgotten Realms, which is one of the modules that like Wizards of the Coast publish.
Okay. So correct me if I'm wrong, but is there also a Baldur's Gate 1 and 2?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there is.
I don't know. Maybe they just started at 3. But this one apparently is especially better, right? Especially good.
Yeah, I don't think they're all necessarily made by the same studio. I think they like make deals with different video game studios to make these games. So they look very similar, but yeah, Larian did it this time and they did it great.
So it would seem.
So you get some like recurring characters. There's kind of like recurring plot stuff from the previous games, but like you don't need to know it. I didn't know it. I had like not heard of this game. So yeah, it plays like Dungeons and Dragons, the video game. You get to select your character and how you play in a pretty sweet character creator. And you can pick like class and race. So like man, elf, tiefling, or like wizard, barbarian, rogue, like the classics. And you can even pick your like subclasses too. You then take your character on an adventure where you collect companions for your traveling party. You perform skill checks by rolling a 20-sided die. You fight monsters by rolling initiative. It's like these are all Dungeons and Dragons mechanics. So yeah, one of the great things about this game that like makes it so special is that your choices really matter. Like you can be a good adventurer and you can save the world and help everybody out and be a hero, or you can just like go 10 toes down on evil and end up like supreme leader of Baldur's Gate full of corpses. Or you can also just choose to nuke it at one point and just kill all your enemies and yourself at one go and end the game in the middle. Like,
oh, wow.
You have the option to just bomb it. And while you're doing this, you can guide your companions to become better people or make them worse. Or you can just let them die and then you just don't play with them and they're just not there in your game. And then there's just unique dialogue for all of it. So things you do early in the game affect things that happen later. You can like unlock these crazy conditions and people are like discovering all these different things. If you replay it, your playthroughs could be completely different.
It sounds like it's made to be replayed, which is not something that games usually offer. You know, it's not like you pay one price and you can play 20 different games. Like that's cool.
Yeah, and just get different outcomes and see different things and discover new things.
Yeah, I mean, that's really cool because usually it seems like game companies are trying to cash grab for that kind of stuff. It's like, oh, you could play this other path, but you have to buy it. Kind of like the Blood in Deep Space or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, no DLCs for this. So they're not really releasing extra content. But what they have been doing, so a game came out in 2023. Through 2025, Larian was patching the game. So you would get these patches you would download, and it would fix bugs or it would patch in improvements to the game, but also things like more classes and subclasses or a mirror so you could change your character's appearance
like
after
Sims.
the first. Yeah, I know. That one was game changing for me. And just like all these different ways to play the game. So I finished my first run probably in 2024. And I think if I were to start again, which I dabble in every once in a while, it's like almost a different game. Like there's just so many more options. And I didn't write this in here, but there's also mods now, and you can mod the game even on PlayStation. So I dipped in a little bit, and now I can get the mod where I can bring my whole party with me everywhere, which is great. Like now they can all be with me.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, maybe I'll dip back into it. Maybe I'll try to pick up Minthara instead of kicking her into a chasm. So she's an evil companion, and before, if you didn't play evil, you couldn't recruit her. But now you can knock her out and recruit her later without having to murder a bunch of innocent civilians. So
Okay. Yeah.
yeah.
Get her on board.
So some like lingo as we talk about the game. When you start the game, there's a choice, and you're like in the character creator, or you're picking your character. There's a choice of 6 origin characters, so that's what origin's gonna mean.
Okay, I saw that online, and I was like, I don't know what that means. I
What they're talking about.
was like, I could Google it, or I could just ask Emily.
Yeah. Origin are the pre-built characters that like when you open the game, they're there. So their class, race, appearance, all that's like the class isn't necessarily set in stone, but at that point it's set in stone. And then they all have kind of a backstory and plot stuff already like built into the game. So those are the origin characters, and then those are also the characters that end up being your Act 1 companions.
Okay.
Should you choose to pick them up.
So any character that, like the 2 characters we're talking about, you could also be playing as.
Yes.
Okay, so that explains how I'm seeing the scenes that I'm seeing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that
Yeah.
makes
So
sense.
you can play as someone else, and they're both companions in your party, or you can choose to play as either of them
Got it.
and go through the story from their perspective.
That's cool. I like that.
With their own, with extra dialogue, some extra, I think, cut scenes, some more like flavor, I guess, depending on what story they're in. And you can also play, there's 2 more customizable options. So you can play as kind of a very blank slate type character that's completely customizable appearance-wise, class-wise. It doesn't have any extra content or tie-in with the story. So this one's going to be called TAV, T-A-V, because when you go to fill in their name, when you create the character, I think that's what auto-fills in. So people just call that TAV. That's just your basic player character. That's like very, I mean, not necessarily self-inserty, but there's like nothing else going on. So that character is just whatever you want it to be.
Right. It's like when you create your own character in Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. You can, I guess, headcanon your own plot or background and stuff, but there's no like extra content, extra dialogue. Or you can play as the Dark Urge or Dirge, which is also completely customizable, but this character has a backstory and like is directly tied into the plot of the game and was previously a player in the events of the game. Although they're currently conveniently suffering from amnesia, so you don't need to know about that. You like discover it as long with your character.
Oh, that's cool. Kind of like a little bit of Skyrim, right?
Yes, and I like the Dark Urge. I think that's a very cool addition. So you get to make your own character, but you're actually involved in the story.
And do you know this when you're picking it, or is it just build as like a create your own?
I think it's just built as a create your own. There's a little blurb that's like the Dark Urge. You have these mysterious urges for blood. And,
okay.
So like, there's a bit more than like going on than Tav, but it's not like you will be more involved in the story this way.
Okay. Got it. Which just makes me wonder why they need Tav
plot
at all, but whatever. That's some people, I guess, have more imaginations.
Yeah. Or the Dark Urge thing is that you, like kind of unconscious, right? You have an urge to commit atrocities. So I kind of feel like you want to give people the option to maybe not get that dark.
Commit atrocities.
Yeah. Because even as redeemed, sometimes you mess up.
That's life, baby.
And it takes the choice away from you sometimes. Yeah. You can try not to do it, but you're still going to commit a little bit of murder. Once you pick your character, the adventure begins. And what's an adventure without a little romance?
Ooh.
Not something we'd be talking about. So
that would be a different podcast, but I feel like everyone would be equally as excited to talk about.
Yep. So yeah, romance is a thing you can choose to pursue. You don't have to, but you can. All the origin companions are romanceable if you play your cards right. And you can kind of romance anyone as an origin character. So it's very up to you. Romances come with their own extra scenes and content and dialogue. And since the characters are all very well written and acted with compelling stories and personal missions, there is, of course, a lot of discussion on the different romance like paths and the different ways they can go.
You said well acted, but I don't know. I've seen some cutscenes or some dialogue of one of the characters we're talking about today, and I was like, ooh.
So all companions have what is called like a good or bad ending, although there is, discourse about whether the bad ones are really bad or whatever. Up to you. And as a friend or a partner, you can influence their choices they make and kind of direct them to how they end up. So everyone has their favorite romance and ending, and we're going to talk about some of those. To set the scene before we get into the romance, this is just how kind of the game starts, your initial stakes, I guess. So you are 7 strangers. You come together after being kidnapped by mind flayers and infected with a mind flayer parasite called a tadpole. That's where the tadpole comes from.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I had no idea. I was like, okay, I just read what Emily wrote.
But they escape the mind flayer ship when it crashes. It's like a spaceship or interdimensional, it flies, whatever. If they don't find a way to get these parasites out of their head safely, they believe they will turn into mind flayers in just a couple days, which is a very gross, painful, bloody process. And then a mind flayer, if you are not familiar with what they look like Cthulhu or Davy Jones from Pirates of the Caribbean. So like tentacles, squid face. They're also like evil, no soul,
I've
bad.
seen Stranger Things. I know what a mind flayer is.
Yes. They don't want that to happen, so this unlikely ragtag crew has to band together to solve their problems. So the tadpoles don't turn them into mind flayer. And there's like a cult that's happening.
Classic.
Gotta deal with the cult. You gotta travel to Baldur's Gate, fight some goblins, fight a shadow curse. There's like steps. The tadpoles give you powers and they help you like connect mind to mind.
Oh, cute.
There's a dream guardian. It's a lot. It's a very long game. A lot happens.
It sounds like it. Sounds like you've put some serious hours into this game.
And I have. So I checked my PlayStation. My PlayStation 5, my Baldur's Gate 3 machine. And I have played Baldur's Gate 3 for 280 hours.
Oh, that's amateur.
It is. I've only done one complete run. I would hazard 10% of that is just in the character creator. And I actually... I bought my PlayStation 5 to play this game once it became available on PlayStation because it sounded so cool. And so for like a year before I bought any other games, it was basically my BG3 machine. I played as a Tav initially. I got all the way to Rivington, which is the start of Act 3. So this is probably between 80 to like 100 hours in. And I decided I could do it better. So I started over. And partially because the mirror hadn't been patched in yet, and I got tired of how my character looked. And I had also popped too many tadpoles, and your character kind of turned ugly because of that.
If you had too many... Oh, no. You're like, do-over. I can't be romancing Asterion as I go.
I was like, oh, this isn't what I wanted to do happen. And I've been spending a lot of time on Reddit, so like I knew I had missed stuff. So I wanted to go back and like redo some stuff. I wanted to go meet the fish people in the Underdark. And I had read about the Dirge and I thought that sounded cool. So I started over as a bard Dirge, and then that is the character I completed the game with. Redeemed Dirge. Can't be evil.
Well, maybe next time you can, for funsies.
Maybe. Yeah, just to see different things, like to mix it up. Because I do occasionally dip back in and make a new character, especially if I want to like play around with the different classes. Like, what's a ranger like, you know? So I've played Act 1 many times, but I haven't stuck any characters out to further acts. So only one ending. Which, yeah, some people are like 20 playthroughs crazy.
Yeah, I was going to say, I have more hours on The Sims 4. I'm going to say 750 hours on The Sims. This is to say, my experience, if you couldn't tell by Emily's description and my questions, I have no experience with Baldur's Gate. I know absolutely nothing about it before we started the research and while we're recording it as we speak, because I let Emily do all the heavy lifting on this one because we had a rough week. So I'm learning as we go.
Just let me info dump.
Here we go.
All right, so who are we talking about? So plenty of ships to choose from. There's so many characters, you can just mix and match them up. But I didn't want to pick a Tav or a Dirge because I feel like those are so player dependent.
There wouldn't be like a universal kind of experience with them.
Yeah. So I picked two of the origin characters, and I picked these two because I thought the dichotomy of them as characters and also their fan response would be interesting and maybe a little controversial.
Ooh,
so
love that.
That is Astarion and Will. So we don't talk about ship names anymore, but the ship name is Bloodpact, which I think is cool because Astarion is a vampire and Will is a warlock and he has a pact. And the ship names in this video game, they're kind of like Love in Deep Space where you have like a word that represents each character and you just like mix and match.
Yeah, and I like that. Bloodpact is kind of badass, but at the same time, it's hard to Google. So
Because it is a word, yeah.
Yep. And if you don't
Yes.
have Baldur's Gate in there, you're not going to get anything about it, which you probably don't get a lot anyway because this isn't the most popular ship.
No, it's not. And we'll talk about why. But we'll talk about the most popular part of this ship, which is Astarion. So love him or hate him, you gotta admit, he is popular. He is the like standout, breakout character, I feel like,
yeah,
from the game.
he's getting his own book.
Exactly. I actually saw someone cosplaying him when we went to the Ren Fair. I didn't point it out, but...
You should have. I could have taken your picture with him.
No, that's fine. But anyway, people really like him, or he's not it for some people, but overall... a lot of people really love him. I feel like I've seen what are those little toy statue guys? Funko Pops?
I have no clue.
He has his own Reddit page. He's the book. Yeah, he's popular. So what's his deal? Astarion is an elf and his initial class is a rogue. He's also a vampire spawn. So Rachel knows all about vampires now, but he's not a full vampire. He's a spawn, which means he has all the negatives about drinking blood, can't go out in the sun, can't go into buildings uninvited, while being completely under the control of his vampire master, Cazador. And it's very bad. So he's been a spawn, I think, for like 100 years. And it's been 100 years of torture, of like mind control, of being forced to lure people back for Cazador to snack on by using sex, which will come up. Big part of his backstory. And Cazador can literally like mind control him. So there's no way out. And since he's a vampire, he can't die. And also everybody hates him.
Well, yeah,
so it's like
'cause
on top of that,
he's luring people back to be eaten.
People don't like vampires. So like I said, that's happening before the video game, which is why I think the book might be a little too distressing for me.
Well, I was reading this and I'm like, is this not Angel Dust from Has Been Hotel? Like, this is almost a very similar.
Very similar to Angel. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like
Kinda
thinking of
sad.
songs. I was like, should I go to the Has Been Hotel playlist and see if I can find a
Loser
good
Baby.
song? Yeah, Loser Baby or something. Can you imagine? Just every song is a song from Has Been Hotel. Talk about
the new part.
cringe.
That's the new segment.
Yeah, that's the new segment. Which Has Been Hotel songs? More than anything. I actually really like that song.
You're watching the second season. I like was it Gravity? Like Gravity?
I haven't gotten
That was
to
one of the
season
better
2
ones.
yet. I'm on episode 5
okay.
of season 1. My whole life's been disrupted this week.
But because of the tadpole and mind flayers, Astarion is now free from Cazador, and he's not experiencing any of the negative side effects of being a vampire. Besides, he's supposed to drink blood.
Oh, that's kind of convenient.
Yeah, he can be out in the sun. He can run around. So now that he's free, what he wants is to not turn into a mind flayer and revenge.
Of course.
He starts the game as one of your evil companions. You only really get a couple that like actually stick it out if you go like true evil. He starts evil neutral on the D&D scale. After 100 years of hell, his moral compass is basically non-existent, and he's just doing what he has to do to survive, which does not include being a hero. But by completing his companion quest, you can either guide him into working through his trauma and accepting him for like who he is, as he is, and still killing Cazador. You gotta do it.
He needs his revenge.
Yeah, like Cazador's bad. You gotta kill him. Or you can encourage him to seize power at all costs, killing Cazador and ascending into ascendant vampire status, which is like losing who he is and becoming another Cazador, continuing the cycle of abuse. Like allegedly, there's some people who disagree with that like interpretation, whether or not he really loses his soul. Anyway,
I appreciate this because it's kind of cool to see the D&D scale in action because I always see it online and I never quite understood it. So at least it's cool to have context for that.
so Astarion is beloved by the fans because he's hot and he's a lot of fun. He's voiced by Neil Newbon, who does a great job conveying all of the like big emotional scenes and also the kind of sassy, sarcastic lines he's known for because he's very flirty, he's very sarcastic.
You mean
he's
cringy?
self-serving.
No, just kidding. Some of the times I watched, I was like, ooh. It was giving Love in Deep Space. But I think that's because you just don't hear your own voice responding. So,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you're just like, he's like, well, what are you doing there, big boy? And you got the mouth sounds and everything. It's just not my jam.
Yeah. And out of context, that probably doesn't help. So he's flirty, sarcastic, and self-serving, and also very insecure and frightened. He's entertaining, but with hidden depths, and he has some of the best lines. So I feel like famous one is the full concentrated power of the sun, where you can like zap him with the sunlight.
Oh, okay. He was giving me Spike. I was getting Spike off of him, who also gets the full unconcentrated power of the sun.
And then some lines like I remembered from years ago when I played the full run, because these both take place in Act 3, is when you volunteer him in a audience participation part of a clown show. He said, and it's just all on the delivery, but he says, "Of course, what fun. I'm going to fucking kill you." It's like the change he does is so good. And then also when you find out there's a shapeshifter after you, he says, "I can't even tell if any of you are acting strange because you have been replaced or because this is a group full of weirdos."
Fair.
And yes, I did choose to romance Astarion. So my redeemed drow bard is chilling in the Underdark with Spawn Astarion, keeping an eye on an army full of vampires. That was the route I went.
Oh, cute.
So there's character one, our next one.
The controversial one, right?
The controversial one, yes, is Will, with a Y, Ravengard. So while Astarion is definitely like fan favorite, at least on like where I see it, Will, not so much.
Yeah.
So I remember when the game was new, I was spending a lot of time on the Reddit. It was mass opinion was that Will was boring. And he does just straight up have less story going on than the other companions and less unique romance themes, less dialogue.
Oh, really?
Probably due to the fact that his character was like completely rewritten right before the game was released. They did like an early access thing. And then after that, they like completely changed it.
Yeah, I heard his previous version was real racist. Towards like goblins or something. I don't know. Like, it's D&D. I just assumed he wasn't popular because he got the old Finn from the Star Wars treatment, you know?
Yeah.
Because let's be real, who's the majority of people playing D&D?
So, yeah, he kind of was done dirty by Larry in there, which, yeah, doesn't help.
Yeah.
So he maybe didn't have as much time to flesh out his character and his story. Will is voiced by Theo Solomon, and he portrays a human warlock. So I don't know if you know about warlocks, Rachel.
I know that they are born intrinsically with magic. And
Wrong.
wizards. Damn it, it's no. Are you sure? Because I thought we said we need to change it to you are a warlock, Harry.
Yes, sorcerer.
Sorcerer. Damn.
Because we talked about this during Stranger Things. Will, what was he, a sorcerer? He wasn't a wizard, he's a sorcerer. Really, he should be a warlock. Because a warlock is someone who has magical powers because they made a deal with an outside force.
Oh, okay. Well, now I know.
Yeah,
The
so
more
literally,
you know. There's a quiz at the end.
Yeah, eventually learn all about the different races of D&D. He is a warlock, so he made a deal with the devil, which is like a race in D&D, not the devil, a devil, for magical powers.
Rock and roll. Does he also get a golden violin?
I mean, if you were a bard, maybe you could. But no, he doesn't get any musical instruments. He gets Eldritch Blast, the power. So now the devil has his soul. The deal is that he only uses his powers for good. And he is called the Blade of the Frontiers because he's out in the frontiers, righting wrongs and killing monsters and protecting people. So he is, I don't know if he's lawful good or neutral good, but he's like one of your straightforward good companions. And he will straight up bounce if you do too much murder.
Okay, well, that's probably why people think he's annoying. You know, they're like, you're never going to like a goody two shoes.
And even though he does occasionally work for the Devil Mizora, his contract is that he only hunts monsters. So his tragic backstory, they all gotta have one.
Right.
Especially a D&D character, gotta have a tragic backstory. He made his pact when he was 17 and the son of Duke Ravengard of Baldur's Gate, so he's a city boy. He discovers a cult attempting to, this is so D&D, he discovers a cult attempting to destroy Baldur's Gate. They're trying to like raise a dragon spirit.
Sure. As you do.
Yeah. He's alone and unable to stop them until Mizora, the devil, offers him power to save the city in exchange for his soul. So he completes the pact, is able to protect the city, but then all evidence is destroyed and he has vowed secrecy about his pact. So his father finds out he's made a deal with the devil. He is banished from Baldur's Gate and he can't do anything to defend himself. So he then becomes the Blade of the Frontiers.
Question. Is it too late to ask what Baldur's Gate is?
It's a city. It's like a place.
What is Baldur's Gate? Okay. Like of
It's like
significance or just like...
Yeah, I guess it's a big city. It's like a big town. It is just like a place.
Cool. Good to know. I thought it was like heaven or something. I don't know. Like the Undying Lands.
It's just a town. Yeah. No.
Sick. Okay, let's go.
So by getting to know Will, you can help him break his pact, save and you reunite with his dad and return to Baldur's Gate as like a duke, or he can remain the Blade of the Frontiers or become the Blade of Avernus, which means he takes the fight directly to the devils. That's where Avernus is. It's where the devils live. So all of these seem pretty good to me. I don't know. There's not really like a bad one in there.
No, those all seem pretty righteous.
Yeah. So Will, he's very noble. He's very chivalrous. Kind of your straight up hero.
And he's got big horns. I feel like that's...
If in some playthroughs.
Oh,
so yes.
Okay. I was very shocked by the horns, and I didn't quite understand where they came from, but I liked them.
Mizora punishes him when he was tasked to kill your other companion, Karlach. If you decide not to, or help him realize that Karlach is not a devil, she's just a tiefling, and she's also like a victim of devils. So he decides not to kill her, which is kind of breaking the pact. So then Mizora punishes him by turning him part devil, which is how he gets horns and stuff. So if you kill Karlach, you end up
Without
you
horns.
don't get horns.
Okay, so...
But like that's terrible.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. So the horns, when I see the horns in the little videos that I'm watching, then I know that that's like good guy Will.
Yeah.
Got it.
That you're probably a good run. And when I played the game, he ended up as Duke at Baldur's Gate because I accidentally sank the other water prison his dad was in. Oops.
Oopsie.
I didn't know. I didn't know that blowing up the foundry would do that. And then we left the blown up foundry, and Will's like, "Oh no, my dad!" And his like dead body had like washed up on the beach, and I hadn't saved recently,
Trauma.
and I wasn't about to replay it, so I was like, "Oh, guess we're committing to that choice."
Well, you can't do anything about it at that point.
Yeah, I'm not replaying.
Yeah, you're like, oh well, sorry, Dad.
Yep. Well,
There's a new king in town.
Yeah. I think that's what happened. It also fucked up Karlach's ending, which was a problem. But you know, it was that I was kind of I've been playing it for a long time.
Maybe
I was
next
kinda ready
lifetime.
to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Okay, so why these two characters? So maybe not the most popular ship, but there's still fans out there who support them. So since in the game romances kind of play out the same whenever you're romancing a character, we're not going to do like a beat by beat what it's like, because it's it's different for who you're playing as, and you could just play as any character and get the same stuff.
We're looking at the meta, right? We're looking at
Right.
what are the themes in these two characters that people like exploring together.
And it's just a good story because you have Will, the monster hunter, and Asterion, a monster. One of the monsters he hunts.
It writes
But
itself.
Exactly. But they're forced to work together to achieve a common goal. And you have Will striving to be a hero and Asterion who's disenchanted with heroics and just out for himself. So it's kind of like an opposites attract thing, enemies to lovers. Come on.
Yeah, it's what Tumblr is made for.
You have first Will being mistrusting of Asterion because he's a vampire, and also he's kind of a dick. So he has a very haughty attitude. And he disapproves of the group whenever they go out of their way to help anyone. So if you're playing like a goody two-shoes, you get a lot of Asterion disapproves notifications.
Oh, no.
Not enough to like affect anything, but yeah. Will had the finer things in life and was banished from Baldur's Gate and surviving in the frontier, dedicating himself to helping others. But then he realizes Asterion is maybe coming from a place of extreme trauma, is in survival mode, where sticking his neck out for others had got him punished in the past. And also, he only eats people that the party is going to kill anyway. So.
So while it's off-putting, same ending, right?
Right, yeah, you're killing him anyway. It gives him a little boost to his like strength or something. And then meanwhile, Asterion sees Will as like an uptight do-gooder who runs around saving others, while Asterion suffered for 100 years and no one saved him because he's a vampire. But eventually, realizes Will is also under the thumb of someone more powerful who kind of holds eternal punishment over his head, and that, maybe they have more in common than they thought.
Yeah, really, Husker Dust.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So, right. They both kind of have someone else controlling them. They're both physically changed by their abuser. So Asterion becomes a vampire. Will gets horns. And that kind of makes him like a social pariah, because I guess devils people don't like. Although tieflings have horns too, so it doesn't really make sense. He's very upset about these horns. He'll bitch about them while you're having a party with a bunch of tieflings who all also have horns. So
You're like, Will, read the room.
I know.
Get it together. Maybe that's why he's not
Right.
popular.
Yeah. He'll bitch about it to your character who can be a tiefling and just like, what the fuck, dude? Like...
He's like, these goddamn horns, man.
So another aspect that's very specific to their characters and their character development is because Asterion was forced to use sex to lure people to their deaths. He sees sex more as a currency or a tool. And if you have high approval, he propositions your character pretty early in the game. And you eventually learn it's because he's trying to use sex to get close to the de facto leader of the group, since it's the player character. And hoping that they will then protect him. So he's trying to get close to whoever's most powerful for his own safety, especially since some companions might not react well when they find out he's a vampire.
Got it.
That is it's self-preservation.
So if you take him up on that offer in the beginning, is that like still a romance arc, or is it like
You have to, which is kind of messed up.
Oh,
That's like step one in his romance. So when you're replaying it and you know what's happening, it's like icky. But if you want to advance the romance, it's like, I kind of have to. But like, so I guess you have to kind of play as him to avoid it.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. But in like character wise, like Will, like that would never happen because Will's not a hookup kind of guy. He is very old school, and his romance is very like chaste compared to some of the other ones. And he ends up actually proposing marriage in Act 3.
To who?
Whoever he's romancing.
Okay.
Yeah. And the part, if you are romancing Asterion, where you guys, I guess, stop banging because he needs to decouple sex with like survival. And with like Will, that wouldn't even come up because he would take it slow. So it's kind of like they meet in a good way where Will's the kind of partner Asterion almost needs to like.
I love that. Yeah, help him heal.
Get through his and be valued for himself first before sex even like enters the equation.
Yeah, that's so sweet.
Like that's a good point. So yeah, Will's romance is very sweet, very chivalrous. Involves a lot of dancing together.
I texted Emily when I was watching it, like researching. I'm like, okay, is this dancing scene real or am I seeing like AI, whatever?
There's, I think, 2 dancing scenes in his romance. And it's more of a sweet, slow burn.
Larian even tweeted or put out a snippet of them dancing as like on their social media to the that Bridgerton song that was going around earlier this year. Do-do, do-do-do, or something like that. Anyways, it was like on the official page. So everyone's like, it's canon!
Yeah. Right, because it could have been anyone.
Yeah. And they picked Asterion.
Any origin character. So Will kind of could help Asterion become a better person, and then Asterion can maybe help him be maybe less better. Just a little bit more selfish and help him break the pact. So a couple other little things. In a dialogue, Asterion jokes that Will reminds him of the prince he dreamt he would marry when he was 13. It's like not meant to be, serious.
Yeah, it's like you're like a boy band equivalent of
Yeah.
Disney Channel actor.
Uh-huh. And then in other like camp dialogues or banter when you run around adventuring, they both acknowledge the other is hot. Will calls Asterion charming and says he has nice hair. Asterion says that the horns look good on Will. Everything does.
Aww.
And then he also says like, that man. It's like, okay. So yeah, Will's romance is very shiny knight, grand romance, if that's your thing. Also a lot of dancing to no music, if that's your thing. Not my thing.
Romantic jaunting, like galloping in circles. Da-da,
yeah.
da-da.
It gives me the like live performance, audience participation type cringe, or like flash dance type cringe. Where you're
I liked it.
Singing in public.
I like the little cutscenes of them that I saw put over music. The aesthetics, chef's kiss. I loved it. I love seeing them together. It was good. But I don't know anything about it, really. I just like going off vibes, and the vibes I liked. But there are critics, obviously, to the couple. Yes. And this was my intro to the couple, because the first thing I Googled was Bloodpact, or the 2 characters, and then this came up. And it is the most ridiculous argument that I've ever read in my life. And it's because you know how people like to like police age gaps and whatnot. And I think I've done that on the show before. But in this case, they're both somehow too young for each other. So it turns out Asterion turned into a vampire spawn when he was in his late 30s. But according to D&D, whatever background, his birth race of an elf, elves don't become adults until they're 100. So if you like comparatively age it, he's like 9, right? I don't know, not even. That's half of 18, or I guess 25. Maybe we'll say 25 is a peak adulthood. So what's half of 25? 14. So he's 14, right? When he gets turned into a vampire forever. Like Stephanie Myers wouldn't even touch that. So in elf cultures, Asterion is mentally locked as a child. Likewise, Will is a human and he is in his mid-20s. But Asterion, he might be locked at 13, 14, 15, but he's been around for 200 years. So now we have 200-year-old with a 25-year-old. And Asterion's too old. And Will's too young. So you can make an argument just by that case that it's problematic because they are both simultaneously way too young and way too old for each other. So I thought that was a ridiculous, fun argument though, in D&D logic.
Yeah.
But then also a lot of the critics of this ship in general, just they don't like Will. Which we talked about the reasons why they may or may not. But yeah, like you said, he's quieter than the rest. He's like the dead last of the characters as far as recorded audio. That puts him like 2 full hours behind the number 1 character, which is Karlach, which people seem to like a lot.
Yes, she's great.
But I did see in the discourse that because of the lack of dialogue, people assume that Will is then the main character because you don't talk a lot, right? So then it's kind of like he is the one he's the main character of the game and like who you're supposed to be playing. But I don't know anything about it because I didn't play it. So Emily, discuss.
I think I have seen that he's a good origin character to play because you get his full story, but you're not missing out on his dialogue, right? Because there's less of it. And then you can kind of, I guess, fill in those gaps yourself by like role playing.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. And he would be like kind of the leader because he's the most like heroic kind. Like it makes sense he would take on that role in the group. I would think that like the Dirge is really the character you're supposed to play as because that's the more customizable one that has big things happening and is very kind of involved in like the backstory and the plot once you figure out what's happening.
Okay,
but
that's fair. Yeah.
But yeah, I did see, I was watching the videos, there was some of people playing a Nastarian run, and then that was just weird, though, to, like, see him and him not talk.
Oh.
I was like, you're missing, like, half his charm.
But then again, also some of the other complaints is that people want to see these 2 characters with other characters.
Yeah, so this is, I didn't check what, like, the least popular ship would be. Maybe like Will Lazelle would be worse, but there's some goofy ones. But yeah, there are definitely some more popular ones. And some most popular ones I've seen for these 2 characters is, of course, Spawn Asterion with Redeemed Dirge, specifically mine.
This is Emily's pairing, right?
This is my ship.
The number 1.
With my bard kit. But for this romance, so both characters have to kind of leave their past behind and choose to turn down like power in order to be their own selves, their own not evil person, and to kind of create their own destiny as opposed to the one that was kind of given to them by someone else. And their journeys have a lot of common and they can like really relate to each other and kind of help each other through it. There's a scene, if you do this run, where your evil butler shows up and he wants you to kill Asterion, and you can choose to wake him up to prevent that from happening because you don't want it to happen. And there's a line from the evil butler that says, he's so afraid of everyone but you, who he should be the most afraid of. And I just remember being like,
Aww.
oh, poor Asterion.
Emily likes like low-key toxic.
I do. But that's not even toxic because you're trying to not kill him.
Oh.
You're trying to be better. But that's one good ship. That's one I like, obviously. You also have Asterion and Gale. I saw this one a lot. Is it a case of two white guys?
I don't know what is a case of two white guys. Just because they're the only two white guys?
It's just because they're the two white guys. Okay. Will is a black man. So it's kind of like you take the two white ones, put them together. They're both kind of pretentious, both like nice things. And then if you pursue their bad endings, that they end up on equal footing, which is not the case with a lot of the other companions. If like an Asterion ascends, he becomes very powerful. So if you're just like a guy, that's a power dynamic problem. But if you get Gale's bad ending, he becomes a god. So they're, kind of equal.
That is kind of nice.
So that could be good. And then the one for Will, and this one to me is just basically canon. Not in my game because Karlach became a mind
no,
flayer.
you didn't save her, Emily. That's horrible.
I didn't let her die. I couldn't let her die.
Well, is that better than being a mind flayer?
I don't...
Like we learned in Pet
least.
Cemetery, sometimes dead is better.
I messed up the Will thing. So then Will couldn't go to Avernus with her to save her. And I couldn't just let her die in front of me. So I turned into a mind flayer. But anyway, in other games, if you play it right and you don't accidentally kill Will's dad or whatever happened to make that happen, Will and Karlach is the ship. And this one, Will... Right, he's a monster hunter. Asterion's a monster, but like specifically, he's a devil hunter, and Karlach is the devil he is hunting. Like when you meet them, I feel like they kind of take that part of the ship and make it even more personal.
Yeah.
Also, Karlach's just great. She's good. There's not that kind of tension there, but she has, she's not evil. And when he refuses Mizora to save her, Karlach's kind of involved with the devils. Her and Mizora have beef. So there's they have a mutual enemy there. And then you can get the ending where they go to the Hells together to kill Mizora specifically and try to find a cure for Karlach's machine heart. And I feel like that's the real ending.
Aww.
That's the ending I wish I could have got, but oh well.
Now she's out there just flaying mines.
She's ethical about it, I think.
Oh, well, good. Okay. Well, life gives you lemons, I guess.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. As you can see, there's a lot of options, and the fans feel very strongly about the options. And because it is a role-playing game and you can make your own character, I feel like we're ripe for fan fiction, right? Mm-hmm. So I checked AO3 this time, and I found 54,000 just north of fics on AO3 for Baldur's Gate. So I guess that encompasses all of them. But I'm assuming 3 probably does a lot of the hefty lifting. There are nearly 30,000 that are just for Asterion. Because again, that guy, he's like the Silas of this world. People like a blonde bad boy. He's the Draco, We like what we like. And then, alternatively, little old Bloodpact has only 1,189. So, in the grand scheme of things, I mean, that's a decent amount. That's a pretty good amount.
There's fans.
Yeah. Not quite a big percentage of the 55,000.
Yeah.
But I did see some argument over whether Will and Asterion are a rare pair or not. And I think they qualify. Mm-hmm. I think they do.
Just rare as in not so many fans by comparison.
Right.
But not, you're picking random NPCs out and shipping them together.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
But I did some digging too, and the top Asterion ships are Asterion and Tav, and Asterion and female originator character, both at 12,000 and then 5,000.
Hell yeah.
So really the number one Asterion ship is Asterion/you.
We all just want Asterion. He's our Baldur's Gate boyfriend.
Yeah.
Emily liked him too.
Yeah, I did. It was the best romance is what I had seen. So I botched it initially.
So yeah, you just had to take advantage of him.
I had to go back.
Is your character that you made a boy or a girl?
He was a boy.
Ooh,
that character was.
gay boyfriend scenarios.
Yep.
Okay. My other question is if you certain actions you make or whatever path you go on, do romances spring up in the background characters at all or no?
No, I wish like Karlach and Will could get together, or Karlach and Damon is my other ship. I wish they could have got together. But there is other video games that do that, where if you don't romance certain characters, they'll get together like during the game.
I love that.
Which is fun.
Yeah, that is pretty fun.
Yeah. The Dragon Age games do that.
Oh, good for them.
But you're like, don't want to break them up.
Oh, yeah. Well, that also, then if you're evil, you could. Or you could like romance them and then unromance them and be like, I just wanted to toy with your heart.
I think you can. I think.
Don't let me at a role-playing game, Emily. This is why I stick to The Sims. Okay, so now this is everybody's favorite / least favorite / my cross
It's
that I
Rachel's
bear.
favorite / favorite, yeah.
Yes, because this is the section where I pick the song that best represents the ship. This one was coming down to the 11th hour when I picked this song. And that is, of course, Wonderwall. Just kidding. Sorry. One of these days I'm going to work Wonderwall in here. Because, like, I like fan edits, and I feel like the songs are what help me understand the ships or, like, make the ships feel more real to me, especially since I don't have 280 hours to play through the game myself. But today's song came from a fan edit, and I kind of like flip-flop on those because a lot of the edits use the same song. So I'm like, come on, let's be original. So I did try to distill this down to its core elements or like what made it hot and then try to find songs about that. But I'm not a music person, like one of those people who like know every song ever created just about. So then I went back to the fan edits, and then I got this one, which I thought fit perfectly, and it's from an edit by Majayet on TikTok. So I just wanted to shout them out for piecing these together. And I thought the song fit really well, better than most of the songs I have pitched so far. And that is the song Hunter by Paris Paloma, who we all know because she sings that song all night, all day, Artemis, Mother Maid, called Labor. That was like a feminist anthem. But this song is a little different. It is kind of like a hunter and prey situation, and it's got some stellar lyrics that I think apply to this, like I've been set upon by a predator, it was just looking for a meal, I saw ribs and fearful eyes. Fearful, you know, what are they afraid of? For you were lonely, you were like me. No. And then there's like this cool little play on words where at different parts of the song this line is swapped, where sometimes it's if I were easy to kill you would have done it already, versus if you were easy to kill, I would have done it already. So it's like kind of speaks to them being at odds with each other, right? And then there is, of course, the lyrics that allude to a specific cutscene with the two characters by a fire. You were at my feet, we're by the fire, you're a gentle beast, and I'm alive. So kind of spicy there. I was really vibing with the song. I'm like, it's perfect. And then I watched a TikTok of Paris explaining the origin of the song, and I was like, oh shoot, because it's actually about her struggle with suicidal ideation, and the monster is actually about her learning to live with the dark and the light in her. So I'm like, womp womp. And then I got an even bigger womp womp in part 2, where she was like, I was inspired to write this song after reading the first chapter of A Court of Thorns and Roses. Womp womp. And then in talking about fantasy, like the next name she drops is Tolkien, like next to Sarah J. Maas. I'm like, false. They are not. This is like not equal. Same. Okay, lady. I'm sorry. I like your songs, but maybe I shouldn't listen to artists explain.
Yeah, you don't need to know.
Yeah, who cares where the origin of the spark came from?
Matter.
As long as it turned into a good song. So you know what? What turned into an anthem for choosing life has now been used to summarize the relationship between a vampire elf and a horned monster hunter. So, yay.
Yay.
And they're dancing by a fire. But it's a good song. You should check it out. I thought it was kind of like vibey too with the world of Baldur's Gate, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. So I really like Paris Paloma, and I had heard this song before, although it wasn't like in my favorite like rotation of her songs. But yeah, because she's in like the bucket of music I listen to that's like angry witchy women.
Yeah.
So it kind of works with the fantasy old-timey vibe. And this is good. I like that. I like the song. I like Paris.
Yay! I did have a good
This is
one.
good.
Okay, now it's time for us to do our one true pairing score, where we do a little quiz to find out where this ship ranks in comparison to all the ships we cover. And you can play along too. You can go to our show notes, and there's a link where you can submit your own survey quiz and then find out your OTP score. And we're going to keep them and add them up, compare them at the end of the year. And if you want your favorite ship to rank highly, then you better get in here. That's all I'm saying. Byler fan knows where it's at. Byler fans know what's up. Okay.
Yep.
The first question.
Let's do it.
Of our OTP. Do you see it?
Yes.
Yes. Well, I only looked at the fan edits, so.
Well, it's kind of like you make it happen if you want it to happen. But I
True.
feel like it makes sense. It's not Will and Lae'zel, which I don't think would make sense.
Yeah. No, it's from what I've understood, it makes sense.
Yep.
Do I want to see more? Yeah. I like it. I'm trying to digest more of these kind of stories so that I can be inspired for my own fanfic writing. Because I'm pretty clueless. Okay,
you go.
swoon factor.
I feel like this is one of our swoonier ones. I feel like this isn't always so high.
I'm going to put solid butterflies because I don't really feel like it's a love of a lifetime or a romance for the ages. I feel like it's like, cute.
I do love of a lifetime. I'll do a little higher.
Ooh. I
I like this one's. I like the Will ass. Will is swoony. That's his whole deal. Because now it's chemistry factor.
didn't even play the game, and I'm giving it the top. I'm giving it 5 chili peppers. From just the videos I watched of them rolling around by the fire. I was like, "Arr."
That's not even some of the other sex scenes. It's pretty tame.
Oh, well, I like my spicy to be tasteful. Fade to black.
Okay. I want to do a little lower, I think. All right. Would they be good together? Fated mates, hashtag relationship goals, standard issue couple.
Okay, when you were talking through
Great.
how they could help each other, I'm going to hit hashtag relationship goals.
Yeah, me too.
I feel like they're good for each other.
Is the story interesting? So this is easy for me because it's hyperfixation file.
Well, yes, you've got the hours to prove it.
Yes.
This is
Finally
hard
cracked that
for
one.
me because I don't feel like I am equipped enough to talk to people about Baldur's Gate. But I will say it's a solid story.
Yes.
Okay, done. We need to do more variety because I feel like this is going to be another high scoring one.
I have 75.
I have 70. Again, we flip.
How did you get lower? Oh, the higher. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, usually I have slightly higher. But we need to do some more crack ships because we just pick relationships that we always end up being like, yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah.
We need some more variety. So send us your bad ships or the ships that you can't stand that you want to torture us with. Okay, well, I feel like that is where we're going to wrap it up for today in Baldur's Gate. As I keep trying to get you to do, send us your ships. We will cover them as soon as we can, right? I know we promised we're going to do them next episode. And then we got a ship that comes from a huge work. And we said, well, actually, we're going to take our time and work on that a little bit. And that kind of ties into a switch up that we have for the summer that we're teasing in this episode. Or wait, are we doing one more episode before we do the book club or not?
No, right? Because this one comes out the 20.
Okay, well,
so do we want to start June book club?
Yeah, surprise! It's our summer fanfic book club, and for the months of summer, right, June, July, August, we are not going to be covering couples, but we're going to do a read along because, guys, making a podcast is a lot of work, and we just do this for the love of the game. In summer, I like to slow down, and I like to have a little bit more fun, and I like to sit outside and read. And so we are going to be sitting outside and reading all the young dudes. So we're going to read all 500,000 words of it over the course of the summer.
Over 3 months. Yeah, that was we wanted to get into it, but that's too much for
one episode. That's a lot of work for one episode. So we're
yes.
And I wanted to read it. I'm very excited to read it. And so I was like, we're going to talk about it. So join us this summer as we read all the young dudes. and we will talk about our experience reading it, and you can follow along with us, and then we can realize our dreams of making this the In Deep Ship Book Club, which this year has already been pretty heavy on.
Yeah, maybe what it's meant to be.
We'll find out. I don't know. We're still evolving. We're growing.
Whatever we want it to be.
I'm really excited for this. So we're going to be working in the background too on couples and whatnot to come back with in the fall. Maybe jump right into spooky season because we're spooky gals. So if you have any couples you want us to cover or, want to torture us with, send them our way. And we will get on that, do some research over the summer and come back with more couples and having finished all the young dudes. Okay. Until then, you know how to reach us. Leave us a comment. Send us an email. Send us a message in that texting thing on our show notes. As always, please give us a 5-star rating and review or whatever. I don't know. Whatever you feel is fair. Just thank you for being here at this point. And you can trust that we will be back here in another 2 weeks because, after all, we're in deep ship.